At first glance, looking at our Android screens, you'll notice that there are a lot of screens that we support. And in essence, this will allow you to target virtually all handheld devices. Now, you will have to individually target watches and TVs, but I'll show you how to do that very shortly. What I want to illustrate is the fact of what we support now with our new update is we also support landscape orientation. And this will differ depending on the actual screen resolution that you're targeting. Now, for the purpose of this video, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to separate these screens rather than including them in a single artboard. I'm going to include them in multiple artboards. So what we're going to do is we're just going to drag our responsive screen onto the pasteboard. We're going to click nothing, select our artboard tool. We're going to select from the top corner to the bottom corner. We're going to draw our new artboard. We're going to copy our folder name for our responsive screen, and we're going to move all the content from that folder outside of it. And then what we're going to do is we're just actually going to rename our artboard based on our screen and indicate that it's using our main target artboard. Oh, it's actually called screens. So this is our 320 size as an artboard. And what we're going to do is just repeat this step for all 14 plus. Now that we've separated all our artboards, our screens into individual artboards, you'll see that we've laid it out that we have our default design. It's all the way at the bottom here. And we've mapped each of our actual target screens going from highest to lowest. We've come to map out all the sizes based on Android's recommendations, but we're going to test and see if this will actually render in the way that we're expecting. So let's just actually turn on responsive so we can grab all our responsive assets. Let's call it screen test 1. Target lollipop. No activity because we're going to add our activities. And while this builds, let's actually just grab our files. Let's copy our folder, our app, our source, our main. Let's actually just paste all the files. Want to replace them. And go back to Android. Oh, looks like it's still building. Okay, so let's allow Android to finish building. Okay, so you'll see we have all our layout screens. Now for each DPI, again, there are a lot of instances where the size for the pixel will not match the actual DPI, so there are measurement changes that will be required. So actually just load this up to test. So you'll see 320 does work directly, and I also know this personally that 1280 will work. But once we start to go any higher, let's check 360, you'll notice a gap. It's actually going to be 385. And you'll note this because now it will flush to the end. So these are some of the changes that you'll have to encompass to ensure that you get the correct sizing. Now that we've corrected all our screen sizes, and again, this will be included in the template that we provide, but a lot of these screen sizes are very different simply because the calculation of pixel to DP is not the same. And let's copy all the files. Let's create a new project. Okay, so now we can actually test each screen to ensure that it flushes all the way. Now it might not flush to the bottom for each design because simply we haven't measured the height of each screen. Now you'll see in Android Studio that we can actually switch between any of the layouts that are provided depending on how many layouts you actually create within your design. And when we test the devices, let's actually go to a generic size. What it will do is it will actually show you what devices this will render with. or you can actually switch to another screen to map to another device setting. And for instance, will go to a Nexus 4. You can see you can easily switch between portrait and landscape based on your design.